Hello everyone. You will need your notes, pencils, and a calculator. You also might need the practice 10.6. So 10.6, we're going to talk about homeowners insurance. When you own a home, you get insurance. So this lesson kind of talks about the coverage of that insurance, not what kind of insurance you can get. So when you have coverage, you have medical coverage, obviously pays for medical expenses. Loss of coverage, that means if your house needs to be repaired, it costs for you to live with somebody else until it's repaired. And replacement value is the amount required to construct a home if yours is destroyed. So here are the two formulas that you will be using, and what you need to be aware of if it's what the question is asking for. The amount of coverage on a home is the replacement value times the insured percent. Now, once you get that amount, this and this are the same, then you take the amount of coverage on a home times the percent covered. So depending on what the question is asking is depending on what you need to do. Here's an example. Joy and Ron Amandio estimate the replacement value of their home is $194,000. They have insured their home for 80% of its replacement value. According to the preceding guidelines and using 10.5 on page 391, what is the amount of coverage on the Amendo's personal property? So first, you're going to have to find the replacement coverage. So you take the replacement value times 80%, okay? And you get $155.20. Now, what they're talking about is this figure on 1012. That just tells you how much everything is. So on that, there'll be another one on the next slide. I can find out that's 50%, find personal property. So you take the amount of coverage. So since this is the coverage, this number and this number are the same, times 50%, and you get $77,600. So on your practice, which looks like this, here's what I'm talking about. Here is the figure you will need to use for number 1 and number 2. The Kimbrough's home has a replacement value of $82,700, and they are insuring it for 80% of the replacement cost. What is the amount of the insurance? So for the first one, you will have to take this 82,700, I'll look where I got that, times 80%. And that actually gets me the replacement cost. Okay? So if you do that, you'd get 66160. Now, here's the tricky part. What is the amount of personal property? So personal property is 50%, and I'm looking at the chart. The amount of coverage is 20%, and the amount for the garage is 10%. So now you're going to take this number and multiply it times 50 for this answer. Same number, 66160 times 20% for this answer. And the same number times 10% for that answer. Okay? And you're going to do the same 4 steps for number 2. Okay? You're going to find what is 90% of this for the first one. And then, of course, you're going to do 50, 20, and 10, just like you did above. Number 3 is a little bit different. That have insured their home for $890,000. This one where you're just taking this, okay? That's how much they've insured it for. So you take that times 50 because that's their personal liability. No, personal liability is 45. The personal property coverage is 50% of their home value. The personal liability is 45. This is 50, and their loss of use is 20%. So again, you're just taking this number times each one of these to get this here. And for the last one, you're just doing the same thing. You're just multiplying. Okay? So hopefully that helps you get started on the practice. And remember, you only learn and get better if you practice.